as presented. Moving on to the next business in order is expenditures. Are there any questions from the board regarding any of the invoices? Hearing none, I need a motion is in order to approve the expenditures totaling $411,094.54 for payment.
So moved.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Again, Clerk Crew, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Reed is absent. Gopal?
Yes.
Tucker is absent. Kessler?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
Krug votes yes. Patrick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thanks, Bob. All right, next business order is public hearings. We have none. Moving on to reports, are there any committee reports to be made to the board this evening? I know public safety met this evening, nothing?
No, we just talked about the resolution that we're gonna pass, so.
Okay.
Or, present, sorry.
Present. Any other reports? Hearing none, moving on to communications, we have none. Adoption of ordinances, none. Unfinished business, none. Moving on to new business, resolution number 2021-41, designation of primary EMS service provider for 911 dispatch. The board has had time to review the resolution in the packet. Chief Bolts, will you step up and provide an update to the board regarding, I guess, what we talked about and also the last meeting that you and I attended at
Yeah, we attended a rather eventful meeting at the Mott Community College Event Center. After speaking with Anthony Chubb, who represents the 911 Consortium, also Jack has also had comments and back and forth with him and discussion on presenting a resolution on top of our agreement to cover ourselves as well as cover anything against the consortium in any way. So I think pretty much the way it came out is the resolutions were going to take care of any issues over and above what our agreements. If there was anything else to add to that, Jack?
Jack?
Correct, yep, that's correct.
My only question that I had for you, Mr. Spelzer, is that when we were there, they talked about us naming a secondary EMS, and I didn't believe, at least in my opinion, that we should do that, or that there's no state requirement to do that, because naming a second company
Right.
would put us in a liability
Right.
situation.
Ryan
They
and
should-
I had talked about that a little bit, and I talked to Tony Chubb a number of times before and after the meeting at 911. And Tom knows, because we went back and forth a little bit, but this is how I recommend we do it. I mean, MedStar's the primary one, that's what we're looking at. If they're not available, 911 will figure out something, I'm sure.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that's.
It'll all be built in. When they build this whole program to go into the to dispatching for Fenton Township, it'll all be built in like it is for even for our mutual aid with other fire departments in the county. So it's going to all be taken care of. And it was also up to MedStar, I think, more or less, to take care of that issue as well. So I spoke with the CEO of MedStar today, and he is going to be meeting with all of the people that have joined on with their agreements, and they're moving forward with purchasing ambulances and moving forward to start upping our coverage. So.
Well, they're doing a great job right now, correct?
They're doing an excellent job. Our times are actually below the recommended from the county times of the 8:59.
Are they below what they were?
Pardon?
Are they below what they were before the agreement?
Yes.
All right, that's all I need.
Can you tell us a little, can you expand on that? I mean,
So we're running probably 650, somewhere around 7 minutes. So that's pretty good.
And before you were telling me sometimes it was.
Sometimes we're 14. The highest we've been is 26. That's
What's
what
our
we're getting.
average before?
Pardon?
What's the average before?
Average before was probably about 12 minutes.
12, and now we're down to 6.5, 7.
Yeah.
Okay,
Even with COVID, firing back up again.
thank you.
So.
Ryan, is this, and I said it so you won't get in trouble, is this an example where we're stepping on 911's toes?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, you guys, you guys are part of the consortium. I mean, it's a group effort between the whole county
I
to
know,
get this
but
taken care of.
They seem to want to be able to pick and choose where we chose because it's best for our people.
Well, I think they're looking at the whole liability of the whole thing, and I think they're making a mountain out of a molehill. But I think as Fenton Township, we've got a pretty good grasp on the direction we're gonna go with it, so.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Actually, that was a good point, and I just wanted to, for me personally, and I'm not gonna speak for the board, but Chief, you started this process about 8 months ago, I think, 8 or 9 months ago. All I told you was find the best solution for the residents of Fenton Township, and you did that,
We have it.
and I thank you.
You're welcome.
So I think it was a great move by this board, and I just wanna personally thank you for putting your time, your effort in coming up with the best solution for our
We have an
residents.
obligation to take care of our residents, and I think we're gonna do our best at it, so,
No, you did that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, resolution number 2021-41, Clerk Krug, will you please present the resolution?
Yes, thank you. Resolution 2021-41, request that Genesee County 911 Dispatch Center recognize MedStar as the primary provider of EMS/ambulance services in Fenton Township and dispatch MedStar ambulances for all EMS calls in the township. I'll move the resolution.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Contract.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
Krug votes yes. Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker's absent. Lorraine.
Yes.
Reed is absent. Resolution passes.
Thanks, Bob. All right, moving on to the next item under new business is appointments to the Genesee County Metropolitan Alliance. I'm sure the board's reviewed the GCMPC letter that's in the packet. I'm happy to report that I have contacted Cade, Robert, and Andy regarding their reappointments. They all agreed. I was happy to hear that. They all did a great job in the past, so are there any other questions or comments from the board? I need a motion to appoint Cade Cadrick as the elected representative, Andrew Marco as the citizen representative, and Robert Kessler as the alternate representative on the Genesee County Metropolitan Alliance for 2022.
I'll move the motion.
I'll support it.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Gopel.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Krug votes yes. Reed is absent. Kessler.
Yes.
The motion passes.
That motion did pass, yes. I was already on to the next one.
All right, next under new business is my daughter calling. Proposed amendments, 2021 Fenton Township budget. Operations Manager Broker, will you please review?
Yes, included in the packet are the proposed amendments to the final amendments to the 2021 budget. Highlight just a few changes. There are not many significant changes at all to the budget. On the general fund side, under revenues, the state shared revenue per treasury projections, I added 50,000 to the budget there. Quite honestly, we're probably gonna get quite a bit more than that because we are owed makeup money, catch-up money for the population increase. We're not exactly sure which payment that'll hit, but we believe it'll be either December or February, both of which are attributable to 2021, so that'll probably even be higher. The only other significant change on the general fund, I did add 20,000 to the law enforcement budget, only because their billing is rather delayed, and we've gotten caught in the past with a surprise high last month invoice that threw us over budget, so I don't expect that to happen, but by adding 20,000 to the budget, it will keep us from having a budget violation by accident. So for the general fund, right now we're projecting a surplus of just under 500,000. We may actually do a little better than that, but a big chunk of that is due to the property we sold earlier in the year. Fire fund, we increased the contracted services revenue by 20,000. The number of runs for Tyrone Township is running higher than last year. So their budget shows a projected deficit of about 155,000. Based on actuals, they'll probably be more like a surplus of about 70,000 for the year. There's a lot of the budget categories they will not meet. There's a minor change in the dog park fund budget, just reallocating, switching dollars between line items within the same department, no change to the total. Slight increase on the street lighting SAD, those are, for GASB 84 purposes, we have to have budgets, just accounting for the actual figures, so we increased that a little bit. And on the sewer fund, the only big increase, we had a couple of increases. We increased our GIS cost. Last year we'd increased our contracted services for a large manhole inspection project. This year we were doing all the data entry for that, and that's driving that up a little bit. That's just for this year. And then the power outages have driven up our emergency call volume quite a bit, so we added another 50,000 there. But we're still projecting a positive cash flow of about $500,000 in the sewer fund this year. Those are the highlights, but I'd be happy to answer any of the questions you might have.
Are there any questions or comments from the board? The township is healthy. All right, I need a motion to adopt amendments to the 2021 Fenton Township budget as presented.
So moved.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Kessler,
Yes.
Krug votes yes. Reed is absent. Lorraine,
Yes.
Contract,
Yes.
Tucker is absent. Gopal.
Yes.
And the motion does pass.
All right. Next under new business is purchase offers. Do we want to put this down and wait for,
I was just gonna
John.
suggest maybe if John's on his way, maybe we wait for him on this one.
yeah, why don't,
A couple more items we could take care of.
yeah, there's a couple other items. If you guys don't mind. All right. Next under new business is appointments to Southern Lakes Park and Rec Commission. The terms of trustees Christine Reed and Rob Kessler on the Southern Lakes Park and Recreation Commission will expire at the end of this month. Both have indicated a desire to be reappointed. Both Christine and Rob have done an excellent job on the SLPR board, and I recommend that our board reappoints them to another 3 years. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Okay, I need a motion to reappoint Christine Reed to the Southern Lakes Park and Recreation Commission for the term ending December 31st, 2024.
So moved.
Support.
Motion's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Lorraine,
Yes.
Contract,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker and Reed are absent. Krug votes yes. Motion passes.
All right, next I need a motion to reappoint Robert Kessler to the Southern Lakes Park and Recreation Commission for the term ending December 31st, 2024.
So moved.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded.
Should Rob vote on this?
Excuse me?
He can.
He can?
Yeah,
Just
there's no
asking.
conflict.
Sure, yeah. Any further discussion? Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
Krug votes yes. Reed is absent. Lorraine,
Yes.
Contract,
Yes.
Tucker's absent. Motion still passes.
Well, next under new business is the scheduled joint meeting with the Planning Commission, Thompson Road. I wish John was here for that also, but I guess we're gonna move on. Next under new business is to schedule a joint meeting with Planning Commission, Thompson Road corridor. I'm sure you've all reviewed the memo in the packet. We do have our zoning administrator, even though he is in Florida enjoying the sun, I'm sure, on Zoom. So, Mike, will you bring us up to date?
Sure. So, as you guys are aware, with water coming down Thompson Road, we have an opportunity to start a planning process to look at this Thompson Road corridor to make sure the development that comes in is consistent with what the township wants to see, with the new changes that are happening. We are ready to kick off this planning process, and it is imperative that we get planning commission and the township board together at this very first kickoff meeting, so that we can make sure that our goals are aligned. So as we go through the process, we're working towards a similar idea. I know Bob is really into storage units, and he wants to make sure we have as many as possible. So we need him there to promote that. Obviously that's not true, right? So we need to make sure that we have everyone's, thought process going in the same direction. So we need to schedule this meeting as soon as possible. We're anticipating to have shovels in the ground, June for the water, and we need to get this plan in place essentially by the start of the summer. And so we want to kick off this meeting in January between the planning commission and township board. So we're looking at times that would work for you guys so that we can get this moving.
Well, in the respect of wanting to kick it off, you're the first one to be kicked off. You might as well stay in Florida after a year. I will help you find a storage unit down there to live in. You got me, Mike, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
And again, the reason why I talked about Treasurer Tucker being here is that he does sit on the planning commission. I didn't know if he had some extra comments, but could everybody kind of look at their dates? Mike, are you going to speak for the planning commission then?
The planning commission will make it work, right? I think they are flexible enough that we will be able to set a time based on when the township board can meet.
Yeah, they can have their meeting, we can come in after. I'm just thinking, how busy, do you know, Mike, your January meeting will be?
Yeah, so I was thinking about that today. I think we might have one site plan, right? And so the meeting starts at 6. Ideally, I can't imagine that it would take longer than 45 minutes to go through it. So, if it were the second item on the agenda, we could be meeting by, 6:30, 7 o'clock and, discuss it for an hour, hour and a half and get back home.
It's just an idea that we see, and they're already here, or they're already scheduled, they're not here to discuss it, so if we can change our schedules, we could meet them.
What
Yeah,
day
so
is
that'll
that?
be January 13th.
Now, is that going to be too late for you, Mike? Did you want to have
No.
information prior to that? No?
No, just, we need it in January. That's really the goal. We have background information that we're still gathering, so as long as we do it in January, everything we're still on track.
So you're saying that January 13th, you meet at 6, you would like us to meet around 6:30 or so?
I think that would be, obviously, planning commission will be there.
And you
So
have,
if you guys are available, that would work.
with only one thing on the agenda, would you, you probably wouldn't be using this room then, correct? So those of us that maybe.
No, we would still use the room, because we use the monitors and everything for projecting the site plans and pulling up data during the meeting if we need to.
So those that may be out of town or couldn't make it, could make it by Zoom?
Definitely.
Fine with me if
Tuesday the 13th at 6:30, can,
Thursday.
it's a Thursday.
Thursday, sorry, I'm thinking of our meetings.
Because we go to Tuesdays.
Yeah, we go to Tuesdays. If everybody could do that, or at least the majority of us could do that, and again, we could make it by Zoom, it'd be great if we're here, but if not, certainly we could be present by Zoom.
Okay.
How's that, Kate?
Yeah, works for me.
Okay. Mr. Cole?
Yes, sir.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, I can make it work.
All right.
Stay out of the sun, Mike.
All right, so I need a motion to schedule a joint meeting with the Fenton Township Planning Commission to review and discuss the Thompson Road Corridor Plan on January 13th. Do we want to say a time?
I would say immediately following the
Yeah,
adjournment of the
immediately
regular
following the Planning Commission's meeting.
You need to have a time. You're gonna have to post a notice.
let's say 6:45,
Let's say 7, make it safe.
7, doesn't matter.
Well, there's one thing on the agenda. Can we safely say 6:30? Or do you want us to move it?
Well, right now, there's nothing on there. Okay, but I anticipate that we're gonna have a final site plan for the, senior living facility on Silver Lake Road.
But you can also control what's on the agenda, correct?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
there'll be one thing on the agenda, correct?
At most.
So therefore, we can start at 6:30, correct?
I guess what I'm saying is that there may be 0 on the agenda. It won't be more than
We
1,
can
or there may not be anything.
Well, is there an important project that needs to come up in front of the planning commission at 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 13th?
Yes.
Okay, so 6:30 will be
All right.
fine. The time will be
Yeah.
6:30, so I will say, to discuss the Thompson Road corridor plan on January 13th at 6:30, 2022. Does that work?
Yep, oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I need a motion.
So move.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Clerk Krug, you call the roll.
Gopal.
Yes.
Krug votes yes. Reed is absent. Lorraine.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
Cutrick.
Yes.
Tucker's absent. Motion passes.
All right, we only have two things left, and that's board comment, so this is gonna be the last one we're gonna have to, Tom, move it back up. So, the next business order is board comment. Is there anyone on the board that has additional comments or concerns?
Are we not going to act on the ones that we passed?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the last
Oh,
one I'm gonna do.
okay.
I'm still waiting for Mr. Tucker. I was
Okay,
hoping he would make
sorry.
it. If not, we're gonna have to go back. Find it here.
Is there any word from John, whether he's on there or not?
I was just gonna look. Let me just make one text.
We should have appointed him to all these openings, but he's not here to vote against it.
Well, if he's just upstairs, if he's still in his car, out of respect,
I understand, I'm just kidding.
we should move forward. He read it.
Is there a restroom down here? Oh, wait.
Right there.
Right over there.
All right, that gives us a minute.
Give me a minute.
All right. Mr. Gold. Still standing. Dance.
Good on you. No, that's awesome.
You know, we were talking today about the prosecutor coming up to Lake Bend. If he wants to go to Linden, my daughter's on the school board there, I can get her to get me the superintendent.
Move it.
Okay, well, I
mean, the
didn't wanna.
prosecutor, Yeah, no, prosecutor. Were you talking to Leland?
No, I will, but I know.
Wait till
these-
after the first, 'cause I
Yeah.
don't want her to
Oh,
go,
no.
yeah, let's do it, and then they say, well, we can't do it till February or something,
Yeah,
but.
no, I
No,
won't mention
we'll
it.
already-
thought about talking to parents.
I'm pretty sure when the presentation is given,
Parents
that the
can't.
parents are invited.
Okay.
That's what I
'Cause
think he's gonna
there's
communicate
a
to the
key-
superintendent, cause I think that the parents should be just as involved, if not more involved than the students. Is that the elevator?
What?
Is that the elevator?
No, I think.
Well, John
it's-
wouldn't come down the elevator. Out of respect to those, oh. 20 minutes, we're not waiting.
Call him?
Can you call him? I don't know. You're the attorney.
Well, he's not
Is he
gonna vote, but
someplace
he's gonna at
he
least call in and share information with us.
Oh, I didn't know to do that.
Well, he's not gonna get to vote that way, but.
Hours ago, 20-minute drive when I get out, guessing 45 minutes out yet.
Oh.
He's still driving. He's driving.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
ask him to talk while he's driving. All right, next under new business is purchase offers. Tax reverted property. I'm sure that we've all reviewed the memo and the information and the two offers that are in the packet. Just to bring you up to date, Tom did a little summary at the December 6th board meeting. The Township Board postponed action on a purchase offer for tax reverted properties owned by the Township, pending further information. Included in the board packet are the following documents: updated preliminary 2022 values and supporting information for the Fenton Orchards units from Assessor Julia Wilson, the offer from Cool Hand Property Holdings LLC, which has been resubmitted on the Township Purchase Agreement form. That was one of John Tucker's requests. And an additional offer that was also on the Township's Purchase Agreement form from Cedar Creek Construction. We've all had a chance to review it, so it's up for discussion. Any questions or comments from the board?
Well, I'm glad we got it in the right form. That was part of the reason we delayed it, and that our attorneys and Mr. Tucker looked at it. Do we not have conflicting offers here?
Yes. Basically.
Well, I personally feel that it was our fault that we postponed the Cool Hand Properties offer for 13 to 16. I think it'd be unfair if we included that in the Cedar Creek, because they're saying 13 to 20. Unless I've read it wrong.
Well, it would depend on what your action is on the first one.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends on what we do with the first one.
Okay.
So, we had an offer of $60,000. Again, our treasurer, John Tucker, wanted to make sure that from going forward that we used the township form. So at that time, we wanted to go back. He also, I think John led or talked to everyone and asked that he wanted to have our assessor, Julia, look at the properties, which is in the packet. If you've not had a chance to look at it, there should be copies up there.
She's on Zoom too.
Oh, and Julie.
No,
Oh,
she is there.
Julia, I'm sorry, you did join us. There was an offer for $60,000 per 4 units, correct? For 4 units. There's 7 of those 4 units. One of the things that the board had discussed at the last meeting was the fact that they did not want to have or allow an option that went 24 months. So that's where we stand right now. We do have 2 offers in front of us. The one from Cool Hand Properties Holdings LLC, I think is for $60,000 per 4 units. And he would like to have an option to purchase them at the same price for 12 months instead of 24 months. The second offer is for $350,000, correct?
Yes.
$350,000, and that is payable today. for the units, and that would be for all 7 of the, I don't know if they're called quadplexes?
Quadplex or fourplex?
Fourplex, okay. So those are the 2 offers that we have that are on the table right now, so.
Since Mr. Tucker's not here, can I point out a couple things?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the first offer for 60,000, there's a couple things to note in there. One, on paragraph 16, it's put in there for us as the township to pay the closing costs, which is not how that's originally written. It's not on the second one.
I was gonna point it out, I'm glad you did.
And so, that cost can be, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, title insurance and this and that. And then also, the option that's in there, that's at that same price, 15,000 a piece, so that's substantially different than the other offer.
No,
Neither
it's
one-
$15,000 per plex, right, or
Right.
$60,000 total?
Right, but that comes out to less than the total amount on the second offer. I'm not great at math, but that's the
No.
way I did it.
No,
I'm wrong?
yeah, 7 times 6 is 42, so that'd be 420,000 over
Okay.
1 year, if he takes the option,
Yeah,
or
right.
350,000 cash now.
And both of which, and I'll
Is my
defer
math
to-
correct? I just wanna make sure I'm looking, okay, just wanna make sure, Lou.
And then I'll defer to our assessor, but you're selling it for less than what you're saying the value of the property is. And again, we've not advertised to do anything with this property. I mean, there's been no signs, no ads in the paper, nothing as far as I know. That's
Tom?
all I have to say.
Okay, no problem. Tom, how long have we been sitting on the property?
I think Julia actually pointed out the years in there, but some of the units we got in 2011, I think the remainder in
At least 10.
2018.
So, 10 years on some of the properties. Julia, can you bring us up to date on that a little bit? 10 years on some?
Yes, some of them were in 2011, some of them were 2018. Also, you'll note that is a bulk price. When you're looking at all those units, there are 2 fourplexes that, if you look at those, and I think that's in the notes there, I'm not sure you can do fourplexes on 2 of those units, so that may take 4 units off of that, for whoever offers for all of the units. That's really gonna take that down to 2 or 4 less than what's platted out there right now, and I think the builder will find that when he does a little bit more in-depth research on that, is what I'm thinking. Probably 2 of them at least. Which will also play into redoing an amendment to the master deed on those, I believe. And if Tucker was here, he'd be able to clarify that for me, but there are steps when you do a site condominium, when you follow the condominium act. It's not just doing a combination of the lots or things of that nature. It has to go to the association for approval. And then also you have to do an amendment to the master deed to change those.
Thanks, Julia. Well, I'll just speak for myself. I mean, we've been sitting on the property for a while. I understand, but we did hire a real estate agent, and this was part of the properties that he did list, did try to sell. I understand that the township is booming right now, and I foresee that in the future. But I'm also for selling the property, just because, again, we are paying taxes on this property. The township is paying taxes on this property. We have, I think, 2 solid offers. It just depends on what this board feels is the best offer. I'm in favor of accepting one of the offers at this point. Again, we're paying taxes on the property. I would like to see development. Those properties have been sitting there for a decade, and I'd like to see them sold, and I'd like to see them developed. That's just my opinion.
Jack, do you see any problem with us go ahead and selling these without having listed them for, or, I mean, I know Ed did a little bit back in the day. I'm just looking at liability wise for the township.
No, there's no liability.
Okay.
It's just a matter of,
Now, I wasn't here for last meeting, but, and I know what Julia's talking about, but I'm just looking at some of these lots and I'm seeing 3 sets of the 4 that 2 or more of the, again, I apologize, I wasn't here for that, but 2 or more of them seem to be in a commons area. Are those going to be buildable?
You mean a wetland?
Yeah, I mean,
That would be subject to obtaining permits from the state, potentially to do any filling to be able to develop them.
but that wouldn't be our issue.
But that's the point I'm saying, is
Yeah.
just to me,
I understand.
you've got 2 people that have made an offer, and they know, I'm sure they went out, they looked at the property, they researched the
Of
property,
course,
they know
yeah.
what they can do. Again, I'm not trying to convince the board to sell them, I'm just saying that we've been sitting on them for a while.
Well, that's why we pick up these, we cherry pick these lots when they offer them back to us, and we determine which ones are potentially, gonna benefit the township as a whole. Yeah, absolutely.
Jack, I'm gonna refer to you, I mean, we have 2 offers. Doesn't seem to be a lot of conversation amongst the board as far as, someone making a motion, and maybe I'm wrong, but, is there, the offers are the offers? Can we counter offer? Can we?
Absolutely.
I mean, can we
100%.
change? So, I mean, is this board amenable to, if you don't like a piece of what, or, a part of what they've offered, are we willing to counter offer? Do we want to accept the offer? Do we want to, so if, somebody on the board wanted to make a counter offer to whether it be the price, the option.
I guess I would ask Julia as far as, can we ask Julia what she thinks of the offers as far as what's?
Absolutely. Julia, would you, if you were, as the assessor for the
Yeah.
township and representing the township, if you looked at these 2 offers,
Yes, so there's a couple issues, not issues that I see, but you're not really looking at apples to apples with these offers. That's one thing that you have to realize.
Thank you.
So when you're looking at these offers, the first offer is asking the township to take less per lot and also pay for all the closing costs that are gonna be out of pocket for the township. And that's giving also a 12-month basis at that same price for purchase of those, which township is gonna be responsible for those units in that term of while we're waiting. And you never know what's gonna happen in that 12-month time is what I'm saying. If he purchases 1 or 2 of the 4-plexes, and then we've got 4 of them left that we're waiting a year, who's to say what's gonna happen in that year? Is the township gonna end up with those back if the market takes a drop? With the second offer you have, I believe that person is paying for the closing costs, so it's no out of pocket for the township. And that issue with waiting the 12-month time period for a purchase agreement to go in on those other lots is null and void, and the township will not have to worry about that. If he wishes, if the market takes a drop, he has the opportunity to do what he wants to with those lots, and it's not the township reverting and still paying taxes on those lots in the midterm.
Julia, thank you very much.
Thank you, Julia.
And this board does respect your advice. Ward?
I guess just with comparing the two offers, it seems like, with the option, they're gonna start development on the 4 and then probably learn things, positive or negative, about, the ability to sell, the others, and build on them. So if it turns out like they learn negative news, it's really hard to develop in that area. It seems like, they might never act on the option, and then we have the other ones and have, I mean, I guess we just keep paying taxes on them for a while. So I think there's kind of a risk allocation kind of thing here. If we sell them, or if we sell them all right now, then, you know, we're done with them. That kind of appeals to me.
Bob, do you have any input? I mean, I'd like to move on this if we possibly could. Does the board want to hear from either of the purchasers at all?
Well,
Or people making the offers?
as I said earlier, the offer for 13 to 16 was here last month. I understand if we could counter it where the buyer pays all closing costs or associated costs for the sale of the property. I would like to see us allow the first purchaser to purchase 13 to 16 and then make a counter offer to Cedar Creek where it would be 17 to 20, 31 to 44, 49 to 64. But
So then you're talking about removing the option from the first?
yes,
Okay. Okay, yeah.
but
Not
here
sure if
it's,
they'd be
it's
interested.
gonna be up to those individuals that are the buyers or builders, what I think might not be worth the time I spend explaining it. So they're the experts.
Well, I think that we have to consider the option. I mean, that's.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, the option,
does
if-
the township
if I
want to
did
send the
it the
property
way-
for a year?
no,
Or 6 months?
I would remove any option. It would be a straight sale. And Jack, jump in, please. If we sold Cool Hand 13 to 16, they pay all closing costs, and the option is removed for the other properties. And the rest of the properties be offered to Cedar Creek. And I might be confusing that.
Well, just my understanding from the last time we met was that, and I guess we need to hear from them on this, but was that Cool Hand was interested because of the, like, you know, without the option, I'm not sure they'd be interested
Well,
due to the cost of developing, yeah.
as Vince said, I guess both the builders or potential buyers are here. My idea is, like I said, might not be worth squat based on their ambitions or desires.
Luke, would you mind coming up to the podium and let's, Mr. Niemer will certainly have you up too. I just want to, Luke, I guess what the board's asking, or I guess the feeling from the board is the option period. I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and then you can say what, you know, talk however you want. Are you interested in purchasing the quadplex that you currently made the offer on if you no longer lose the option of the others? If you lose the option, it's like a yes or no.
To answer that question, to answer the question with asking a question, is there the ability to revise my previous offer to include a cash out of all lots that Stuart Worthing seems, or I guess deems buildable for that same price of $15,000 per lot, which I believe the other offer was $12,500 per lot if you did the math on it, to revise it to 15 on any buildable lot that if he says it's not buildable, it's not buildable, obviously. Well, I guess Lawrence Engineering would probably have some say in that as well. But any lot that's buildable, including that same offer, and once again, cash as well.
So no option.
Revising the offer, no option, cash, buy them for
But only, so your offer right now, that you're revising your offer to say that you'll take all lots that are buildable.
with,
And I guess, how do you define buildable?
We don't.
We can't.
Can I answer that question, Vince?
Thank you.
What-
Cause I
well,
can't.
One of the things is that, Stewart doesn't deem if they're buildable or not buildable. Once properties are divided in this manner, it doesn't mean that they're buildable, but an engineer would have to come in and deem if they are buildable. It wouldn't be a building inspector, because they'd have to check the soils. And it's also, because a lot, 6 of those I think are within a floodplain, does not mean that it's not buildable. It just means that it costs more to engineer to build, and there's more rules that go along with that. I'm not sure if that's what Luke's talking about. It just costs more to build because there's more restrictions within a floodplain.
I
And for
understand.
some of the lots.
I believe
understand
they're
that,
buildable
but
as well.
as we're looking at 2 offers, what I wanna know is to me, it's up to their due diligence at this point.
Yeah, okay.
We're at the offer point. We're here, this board is here to make a decision. So the decision is, you make an offer, but we can't make a decision this evening to say, well, I'll give you $12,000 on a buildable site, because we don't know at this point, according to yourself, what a buildable site is. So again, we're
That's
back
correct.
to square one, where we're saying, what is the offer? So I guess, Luke,
no, and I agree.
you're
but
gonna
I think
have
that-
to make an offer based on what you wanna pay for those.
Yeah, I'm willing to pay 15,000 apiece for all the plotted units. I think it's fair. 28, yeah. Well, no.
So you're revising your offer to $15,000 for all units,
Correct.
okay?
Is that with, another question is that all in one bulk sale, or is that with the option still of spreading it out over a term?
No option, all in one.
All in one. Are you gonna cover the closing costs?
Yes.
Okay. So we have an offer on the table. Mr. Niemer, would you like to come to the podium? And I'm sorry for putting you in this position. You made your offer, and I'm not asking you to counter. I'm just asking if
So
there's.
what we had done when we made the offer was kind of similar to what you guys had brought up. And if I may, you guys can see lot 61 and 62, 49 and 50, and 40, I guess 42 and 41 are both in the floodplain. Having said that, those are 6 potentially unbuildable offers, or unbuildable lots. And that's the reason why we came up with that, the number that we came up with. We were essentially kind of doing the same thing, offering the same dollar amount as what Luke was offering, approximately $15,000 per lot, per buildable lot. But I just bulked it as a whole, knowing that if we were going to go into this, there is a strong likelihood that 6 of these 28 units were going to be unbuildable. If you kind of did the math, I was just looking at it. Again, I'm a numbers guy, and I was just looking at my offer of 28 units at $350,000 was equivalent, or actually more than the offer that was on the table of, as he had said, buildable units at $15,000. If you did the math, I was offering you guys $350,000. If you work the numbers backwards, minus the 15 grand per lot, it would equate to $345,000. So essentially, you kind of got the upper hand with me purchasing these properties with the number I was giving you. No question, no nothing, no. Going to give you $350,000 for the way these properties sit right now.
Okay.
I didn't want to come in here and get into a bidding war. That wasn't my intention.
I didn't mean to cause it, I'm just,
I knew the offer that was presented. I thought that was the offer. Kind of feel like he was led into this offer, and that's just not the way I want to do business. And I want to make sure that the offer I stand is I want it to be a solid offer, and I want it to be good for both me and the township. I came in here knowing that I would have the better number based on the number of lots that are available to build on. And now I'm gonna have to, you're asking me to kind of throw out additional numbers out there without me doing my due diligence. And I've got documents and paperwork, and I just, if you don't mind, I want to reflect back on when these documents here were presented, the engineering reports on all these properties. Oh my goodness, I can't see the date on it. I think it's 2003. In 2003, none of these properties, and when they were platted out, none of these properties were in the floodplain. None of them had any restrictions, and I believe this was in 2015 when they revised this, or 2013 when they revised the floodplains. Now all of a sudden these properties are deemed where they are wetland issues, DEQ issues, floodplain issues. Can I go off on a little tangent here? Hey Luke, you willing to split these?
What was that?
Are you willing to split these?
Not at this, I'm more of a all or nothing kind of thing.
Okay.
Both of us are in the production.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of development here. There's a lot of potential here. We don't. I'm currently in Fenton Orchards. I'm doing several homes in Fenton Orchards. This is my backyard. I live in the township. I work in the township. I want to stay in the township. I'm going to kind of spin it back to you guys. Tell me where I need to be. What do we need to do?
Jack, I'm gonna refer you.
Okay.
Because I mean, usually when an offer is made, then a counter offer is made, and it's not in an open forum like this. At least I've never been. I've been doing this. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I've never been in a bidding war where it's kind of an open forum like this. I mean, I respectfully say, when I made this offer, I knew where. I'm sorry, Luke. I don't know your last name. I mean no disrespect, but I knew where you came in at. I also knew where my numbers were coming in at. I knew you take the numbers, subtract them off these 6 units, these 6 properties, and I was still a little bit more than what he was at. And now we're kind of getting into this debate.
Well,
And respectfully, I don't want to.
I feel I started this bidding war. That was not my desire. I was just trying to establish, in my mind, a fair and equitable for both people. But I understand now there's a lot of extenuating circumstances, so.
Well, just to speak to both of you, we have a very experienced board. I wish Mr. Tucker would have been here. But, been on the board 13, 14 years, and again, this is the first time for me. I've sat on the ZBA, sat on the Planning Commission, so I think this is a forum where what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set forth for the first time a motion myself, and let the board do a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but what I'd like to do is set forth a motion to reject both offers at this time, and then what I'd like to do is to have you go back, do your due diligence, put them both in sealed bids back to the township on the form in which we require, that John requires, and that we post it and advertise it. I think that's the only thing to do at this point to be fair to everybody, because right now, Luke's made an offer that may be more dollar-wise, but again, you haven't had the opportunity. We're putting you in a position to right now to make a decision, and I feel very uncomfortable for both of you.
Yep.
And I'm just not gonna do that, and so I'm setting forth that.
So,
Go ahead.
Before you do that,
All right.
I'll match his offer. I'll give you 15,000 per lot. I'll buy them all cash.
Okay, so we got the same offer. You both know where you're coming from now. So, right? I mean, it's the same offer.
Okay,
So
yep.
does that get you
So-
back up to four?
So your motion is to postpone it, reject both offers?
If I may, I mean, I would like to, if you want me back.
Sorry, it's public meeting.
With all due respect, I'll match his offer, but I would like a decision made. I don't want to reject it and come back. I don't want that. I mean,
I'm-
I say this so respectfully. I have a lot of admiration for you guys, and I've gotten to know you through the years, and I mean no disrespect. Please hear my heart. I want an answer. I want an answer.
Well, Mr. Niebuhr,
Yes, sir.
I wasn't trying to be disrespectful at
No,
all.
sir. No,
I
sir.
was trying to be.
No, sir. I
didn't want
didn't.
us to get into a bidding war right here in front of this board at this point.
But I will also offer, Luke, I made the offer to him if he wants to work together. So we don't have to go balls out, knuckle, fist fighting over this or whatnot. That's not who we are. But at the same time, I'm willing to offer you guys $15,000 a lot, pay for everything. I'll revise my contract.
So right now, we have two
I mean, I
offers.
want them all.
You what?
I want every single unit.
So right now, let me understand, Mr. Niebuhr, you are offering $420,000 for the 7 fourplexes, fourplexes.
Sure.
Luke, is that your offer?
I mean, I'm happy to go with, in secret, make another offer, both of us put our highest and best in, and come back at this at the next meeting.
That seems like a fair way to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't really understand if, it sounds to me like we're actually at identical offers right now, and I don't understand how, I mean, maybe some of you have more knowledge of the two of them or some basis for deciding between two identical offers. I don't really have that. I would think that, yeah, rejecting both offers and then having, sort of a highest and best offer, hopefully on the same terms without the option thrown in, so that we can, I mean, it's really hard for us to compare the option to not having an option. So I would like to see us reject both and get any offers, just whatever the highest and best offer is without
Okay,
that
I'm gonna
combination.
interrupt here. He already has the motion. He already made the motion.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with the motion.
Actually, I'm gonna withdraw the motion just because we've still got comment going on, plus we have people after. I will remake the motion. What I'm saying is that I wanted to withdraw that because we've already got.
I wasn't trying to make a different
No,
motion.
no,
Yeah,
I think you're,
no,
but
I-
he's basically supporting your motion.
Yeah, I was just
So, I
supporting the
mean-
idea of your motion.
If you wanna withdraw it.
Well, is there any
My
other
2
comment?
cents is, I don't know either one of these folks, and I've been here 18 years and I've never seen this happen either.
No, this is.
I don't think, right now it's a coin flip. I mean, because we got 2 exact offers and
It's a double-headed coin you're flipping, because it's gonna be the same either way.
that's what I mean. I
because
mean,
it's
it's, we're
identical
gonna,
offers.
so I think what's, just, talking out loud here, I think both know where each other's at. And I think, other than just arbitrarily picking somebody who, I don't know, dressed better or, is more articulate, I mean, that's the only basis I have for picking either one of them. And I don't think that's pretty subjective for somebody to risk, making a livelihood out of this versus somebody who doesn't, just because who do I like better? I don't know either one of them, so.
Like I said to both of you, we have a very seasoned board and a very respectful board. And whatever we do, just know that we're doing it out of respect for both and the process. And I understand you're, wanting to know tonight. Is there anybody that would like to make a motion prior to me reintroducing my motion, or anybody else that has anything else to say? Because I guess we.
Well, if we look strictly at taking this property and putting it in the hands of one builder, I look at that as maybe a better thing for the township. I know I'm sitting here talking to myself, you dummy, you started all this. And I guess I did, but I would look, and if you want, I can make a motion, let it fly, and it's up to the, we're all one vote. But I will make a motion, and Jack, correct me if I can't do this. a motion to reject the offer from Coolan Property Holding LLC and accept at the original amount the offer from Cedar Creek Construction. That's my motion.
Do we have a second? Do I have a second? Hearing none, that motion fails.
Julie has a comment.
Oh, I didn't, oh, sorry, Julia, I just kind of screamed.
I just had one other question. I know this is really, really odd that this is going on right now, but I'm going through the kind of the same process with my daughter of buying a house. And are both the offers cash, or are there different financing for each offer?
They're both cash.
Both cash.
They're literally identical, Julia.
Okay, that's what I didn't know. I heard one say cash and I didn't know if the other one was cash also.
Again, if I could just tell the board, it's real estate, it has to be in writing to mean it.
Yeah. Sure, understood.
Yeah.
So you don't have either one of these offers that you're talking about
Mhm.
in writing.
Right, so we would either have to have a counter offer,
Right. A counter offer, let everybody come back with new offers next meeting.
Okay. I'm going to set forth a motion to reject all offers, require any future offers to be by sealed bid on the township's form, and that Tom, I'm going to authorize Tom to advertise said quadplexes.
But you need a date, if you're
Need
gonna
a
have
date
sealed bids,
for it.
you have to have a date when they're gonna be.
Tom, can I refer to you on a date? Because I don't know how long it takes to post. What do we usually give time-wise posting?
I would say if we were to set the deadline so we could take action at the second January meeting, does that sound reasonable?
That'd be 30+ days.
It's 30 days. Can we get it sooner than that?
It would-
It looks like, I mean, because you gotta remember, to me, the property needs to be, you've got work to do on the property, then I'm sure everybody wants to start in springtime, right?
Well, the deadline to advertise in the Sunday paper is tomorrow. I don't know if I can have the ad already
I think
scratched.
30 days is reasonable.
30 days is
Yeah, I
reasonable.
If we, to have it back in time for the 4th, it's just, with the holidays, it just isn't enough.
So
time.
our meeting is on the 19th, correct?
Or what should be the 18th.
8, can you confirm that? Somebody confirm that?
Tuesday, the 18th should be our second meeting, so if we
At
have. it on the-
6:30 PM?
So, well, that's the date of the meeting, so if we make it due like the previous Thursday, that gives time
We
to.
can sit down and open the bids.
Open
What's
the
the
bids,
previous
assemble the
Thursday,
bids,
Jack?
and bring it to the board meeting on
13th.
13th, okay, so I will end that by saying that we will cut off sealed bids on January 13th at 5 PM here at the township office. And what else do I need?
That's it.
That's my motion.
Support.
Motion's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Tucker's absent. Lorraine,
Yes.
Gopal,
I vote yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Reed is absent. Cotrick,
yes.
and I also vote yes. Motion passes concerning the property.
Again. Thank you both, or thank you for coming in, and does anybody have any questions before we move on with the meeting as far as what is needed to purchase these properties?
No, I think
And please, no disrespect meant to anybody.
No, none taken on my end. I got no animosity towards people. I will say though, I mean, 2 offers were presented. I would have liked to see one accepted. That's just my,
But remember, on advice of our attorney, we can't accept it unless it's in writing,
I mean,
so.
2 offers were, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the 2 offers that were already here?
Right, 2 offers were presented to you on on the table on properties that you've been holding for
We
over
had
10
original
years.
offers.
A decision would have been nice to have
But
been, would have been nice to have a decision today.
All right, well, then, would you like me to go back and set forth a motion on both? Because I can't tell you what the board's gonna do, but if I set forth a motion to accept or deny or counter Luke's or yourselves,
We're already there.
yeah, we're there.
No, I don't think that's necessary.
Okay.
That wasn't my, no, that wasn't my point. I was hoping to get that resolution.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Next business in order is public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. We will now open the meeting for public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. First, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to those attending tonight's meeting virtually. Is there anyone attending tonight's meeting virtually that would like to address this board on agenda or non-agenda items? All right, hearing none, if there's no other public comment, I would like to say it is now 8:42 p.m. and the meeting is adjourned. I'd like to say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And
Nice.
Happy New Year to everyone that is joining us virtually or here in the audience.
Nice going, Bob.